So here we're going to take you through a simple framework to improve your mid-foot mobility and teach the foot how to not only pronate, but also get into more supination as well. So the first thing we're going to look at is getting the shin to move through a positive shin angle where the knee is going over the toes. This is going to drag the foot into a pronated position. And as we get the shin backwards, it's going to drag the foot into a supinated position. Step 2, we're going to learn how to maintain pressure through the full foot. So as Chloe goes forwards into a pronated position, I want the outside of the heel to stay fully planted on the ground. As we move back into a negative angle, we want the ball of the foot to stay planted on the ground there. So that way the whole foot is on the ground while we move through the center of the foot. I'd suggest practicing this and even leaning on the leg to get more weight through the limb and just moving back and forward through this, trying to keep everything as relaxed and soft as possible. If you are someone who's a little bit stiffer, it might be useful to put a weight on top of your thigh. And the further we move back, you'll see how that drags the foot into more range. And then if I load Chloe up and let her sink even further, that will likely give her more length under the foot and maybe get a little bit of tension around the back side of the ankle. If you're someone who's getting a lot of pinchiness or blockiness or is very stiff through the middle of the foot, all we do is we turn the pelvis open to externally rotate the hip and then sink forward from there. And that will usually open up the ankle a little bit more so you can access more of a flat foot or pronated foot position. Okay, so now we're going to do what we call a pestle mortar. So we're going to add a layer of complexity. We're also going to integrate the rest of the lower limb and body to explore lots of different angles of the foot and ankle, bringing in frontal plane, which is side to side, and transverse plane, which we could bring in a little bit of rotation as well. So all we're going to do is imagine the foot is underneath the pelvis, and we're going to explore the pelvis moving around the foot. So if we just started going forwards and bending the knee, that's pronation. As we come back into that negative shin angle, the foot is going to supinate. So that's just a forward backward. We can then explore the pelvis moving side to side at the same time and start to combine movements, trying to keep the whole foot planted the whole time. So you can get a little bit of groin length here. As Chloe comes out to the right, she might get a little bit of length through the outside of the hip. And you'll see how the foot is almost dragged into a bigger range as she circumducts the pelvis above the foot. You can then explore rotation and work in the areas where you may experience different bits of tension through hamstrings, shins, backs of calves and ankles, or even in the foot itself. Okay, the fourth step, once we've got all the bones to move and we've relaxed everything around the foot and everything is moving quite well, we're going to learn how to pressurize the foot into the floor in the end ranges to challenge the ability for tissues to handle tension. So we're going to get Chloe in the fully pronated position, which is forwards, eyes up. You're basically just trying to stack the body so you're directly on top of the foot. And from here, I'm going to get Chloe to press through the whole foot except the back of the heel. So we're in a nice pronated position. To make this even more challenging, I'm going to get Chloe to continue to sink the knee forwards without the heel moving. And that's going to put a decent amount of tension through the back of the ankle. I could make this even harder by getting the leg in front of her body and getting her to be lighter in the hands. And what she'll likely experience is the back of the ankle taking quite a bit of tension alongside the quads to maintain and hold that position in this isometric state. So that'll be the main way we improve mid-foot mobility, by getting the foot to fully pronate. We could go back all the way as well and get into a fully negative shin angle, and then we can start to hinge from here and reach your left hand to your foot. And this is going to get loads of tension through hamstrings, maybe through the front of the shin. And what I like to do in this position is externally rotate to supinate more, and then just press the foot down into the floor to get the hamstrings and ankle muscles all to contract together in that position so that the nervous system has control and is able to manage the force and the demand of the bones being in this position. And then pull yourself forwards to stand back up. So if you want to improve your foot and ankle mobility and build some tolerance there, give that little sequence a go, and hopefully you feel much lighter in your feet and a bit springier after.
Be a little fair.